What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me on my channel. Today we will be coding a Hangman game, and it's a great little project if you're starting out with Python, and I'm going to walk you through all the steps. So first we will create a new file and we will call it hangman.py, and we will also create a file hangmanart.py. This is where we will store the ASCII art, which we will create to print out the different stages of the hangman's lives. Okay, so first create a list and we will name it stages. And in this list we will do triple single quotes, which will let us draw our ASCII art. So we'll do plus, lots of dashes, another plus, then a pipe symbol, and another pipe symbol, and we will use these symbols to recreate the full hangman figure. Okay, now that we have the figure ready, we will go ahead and copy the figure and paste it 6 more times. So we have 7 images in total. Make sure they are separated by commas, so each image in the list is its own image. So on the top now we will write game over, because once we index into the list and we go to 0 index, we want the full image to show, and game over, and then we'll go ahead and remove each of the items in the following images to simulate the different stages of the hangman's game. Okay, and the last image will have nothing on it, and this will be printed when we have not lost any lives yet. Okay, now that we have all the images needed for the game, we will go ahead and create the logic in the other file and import these images into it. Now that we have made our images, we will go ahead and import the random module and our images into the main Hangman file. Once that's done, we will create a list of words and we will name the list words, and in the list we will add 3 words for now just to test out the code, but feel free to add more words in your own code. Now that we have our list of words, we will go ahead and ask the random module to choose a random word for us using the choice method. And we will put the word list into the brackets there, assigning it to a random word variable. Next, we will make a variable called guessed word, and in this variable we will make a list initially with only one underscore, and we will multiply this list by the length of the random word that was chosen. So this way, if we do print the guessed word right away, it will just print underscores for the same amount of letters that are in that word. In this game, we also want to keep track of the letters that we have already guessed, and for this we will make another variable called guessed letters and assign it to an empty list initially, and once we start guessing we will keep adding those letters to this list. And we also need to keep track of the lives, and we will set it to 6 because it does take 6 parts before the stickman figure becomes fully drawn. Okay, now that we have all the information that we need, let's tidy this up a little bit. And let's work on the main loop for the game. In this case, we will use a while loop, and we will loop until lives reach 0. So now I will write some comments of what we need to do to make this game work. We will also need the else clause if the lives are no longer higher than 0, and in this case we will print the image index 0, which was the first one with game over, this one. So we'll go into hangman art.stages, which is the list, and in the square brackets we'll index to 0, which would be the first item in that list. We will also print a statement informing the user that they have lost the game, and we will show the user what the word was by putting the variable inside curly brackets and turning this into an F string so we can access that variable. And we'll put a \n just to give us a space in the terminal when this is printed. We'll put some single quote marks around the word, and now we'll go ahead and do the main logic. So first we will need to print the status of the game. We will make a print statement, and in this statement we will print the current status of the hangman by using the lives as the index. So first it will start into index into 6, which is with nothing drawn, and then if there are less lives, print other stages of the hangman until it reaches 0. In this line we will print the current word that we are trying to guess, and we will do this by using the join method to make a list into a string. So now this list of underscores will become a string, and we'll pass in to join the guessed word list. Okay, these quote marks will show what we are joining by. So in this case we are just putting a space, and I'll go ahead and put a space after the underscore in the guessed word, just so we can space it out a little bit. Next we will print the letters that the user has already guessed using the same join method to turn the list of guessed letters into a string, and we will insert a space between each letter. And then lastly, in this display we will print the amount of lives that the user has left remaining. Before we tackle the input, we will go ahead and print hangman, just so we can have some type of logo when we start the game. And now we will move to input, and we will make a variable called guess. In this variable, we will store the guesses that the user makes, so we can compare to the letters in the random word. And we will validate the user input by checking the length of the guess. If the length is not equal to 1, which would be one letter, or the guess is not a letter, in this case we will use the isAlpha method to check for it, we will print please enter one letter. And then we will make a continue statement to inform the loop to start over again from the top. Next, to validate, we will check if the guess that we made is already in the guessed letters. We will again print a statement to inform the user that they have already tried this letter, and we will use the continue statement to restart the loop again. So now that the guess has been validated, we will check if the letter that the user guessed is in the random word. And if it is, we will print correct. And if it is not in the random word, we will print out incorrect. Now that we let the user know if the guess was correct or incorrect, we will need to write down the logic to continue the game. So if the guess was correct, we will make a for loop. So for I in the range of the length of the random word. So it will go through 0, 1, 2, 3. So for I in the range of the random word, we will go ahead and check if the random word's index that we are looping through is equals to the guess. So for example, if the index is 0 is the first letter, 1 is the second letter, 2 is the third letter. So if it equals the guess, we will make the same index as the random word of the guess word. So we will take the same position of the random word and place that letter in that position. This will replace the underscore to the correct letter. And if it is incorrect, we will deduct one life. Now, once that is done, we will add the guessed letter into the guessed letters list using the append method. And finally, we will check if the guessed word is exactly the same as the random word, meaning that all the underscores have been replaced with the letters and it matches the random word. We will inform the user that they have won the game and we will break out of the loop. Okay, so the code seems to be correct, so we will go ahead and test this code now. So everything prints as it should at the start. You got the underscores there to represent the letters. There are no guess letters, lives left 6, so let's take a guess and put A. It replaced the third letter, lives remain the same, and also the hangman is not drawn. If we write another letter, we guessed P, so now lives are 5, it's an incorrect guess, and now the head is drawn on there. If we write an O, it's correct, shows us the first letter, so this must be orange. Another correct guess. We'll go ahead and see if the game shows the winning screen correctly, and Yes, it does. It says correct. You got it. The word was orange. You win. So that's great. Winning works. Now let's go ahead and try to lose and see if game over shows correctly. So we type in the whole word apple. It says please enter one letter. That's good. Exclamation mark. Please enter a letter. Okay. So the validation works. Even if we write the same letter again, it works. That's great. So let's go ahead and try to lose this game to see if the losing screen shows properly. Okay, last attempt. Let's try Y. And yeah, you lost. The word was apple and it shows game over. So this was successful and the code seems to be working perfectly. Okay, thank you very much for watching, everyone. As always, I hope you learned something. And if you did like this video, please do click like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.